welcome to our 74th Guerrilla Radio Wrestling Podcast, talk about wrestling stuff. I'm Joe Caprino. I am here with Mike Reiser, the voice of the Harvest Classic. And hopefully we have
That's true.
comments.
I am the voice of the Harvest Classic.
When the Harvest Classic speaks, it's in Mike's voice, right?
Man, when there's some names to be butchered, they know who to call.
Hey, at least you're getting better. You probably got Hezi DeVault better. Do you just call him Hezi, or do you call him Yazel?
No. I asked Hirschberger early on, like, hey, what should I call him? They said, just go Hezi. I said, all right, man, we're going Hezi.
Nice.
Outstanding wrestler of the Lake Central Harvest Classic, Hezi DeVault.
Nice. He's we were just talking about it beforehand. Some heavyweights, pretty. Even with the returning champ, there's some people knocking on the door, definitely. So, hey, we got comments again. Good. 2 for 2 now.
There we go.
2 in a row. I can read the comments. I don't have to look on Facebook. So, fun weekend. in many ways, more than one way. The Superchargers we went to Westfield, woke up 4 o'clock in the morning, got home at 8 o'clock, and had about a half hour of free time. The family was out of the house, and then all chaos for the rest of the weekend. So I'm ready for a Monday and work. So how was the Harvest Classic?
Good. It's always good. I think it's always the unofficial kickoff to the region wrestling, the wrestling season for the region. We had 2 really good duels. Starting off with Crown Point and Portage and Chesterton and Portage, but for a lot of teams, they're coming in and this is their first real action. A little down. I would say it's a little down than it's been. I was talking to Josh Morgan, who used to be the head coach at Lake Central, wrestler at Lake Central, who I do the region broadcast with. And I think this is the first time in a long time that they didn't have a returning state champ or finalist in the event. So anytime you don't have that, it's gonna steam down.
Yeah.
So
you look at the power programs.
Sometimes you have some.
Yeah, you look at the power programs. You see Portage is a little bit down. You look at Penn. They're kind of rebuilding right now, and they're getting their guys right back up there. And they have a few good guys. Look at those 2 programs, and then the others always have some solid guys there too. So it's hard to. And Hobart, they're young but not young. They have a bunch of juniors and seniors in the lineup, and they're getting ready. I mean, next year that could be a real ugly tournament with all those young guys coming back. I mean, you could be talking 7 or 8, returning guys under the lights there. So.
Sorry, I'm doing the Carson Brewer right now. I'm eating as we're doing this.
That's fine.
On the intro, I see Carson Brewer eating the sandwich. Still some good matchups. It'll be interesting to see, how because some of the schools are consolidating. Some of the Hammond schools, we talked about that last week, are starting to consolidate. But so it's interesting how that goes, and what the scheduling is going to be like for that. But overall, Hobart obviously coming back. They're kind of on that Penn. Usually Penn has a real deep run, and you're not necessarily seeing Penn's best lineup until maybe Al Smith. And I think Hobart was down some guys. There was a tragedy at their school. There was they had a soccer player that had committed suicide, and so they had some kids that weren't there for the funeral, and they had some injuries. So definitely not the best Hobart team I think that they're going to see, but they're still good enough to win the tournament. And I think Penn's young also. They have a couple really good freshmen in their lineup that are going to be good going forward. And they have a really good one that's not in there also.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's Penn's. Penn, you don't see Penn's real lineup until Al Smith. They run 6 varsity A, B, C, D, F, G teams, so you never really know exactly what they have in their lineup till Al Smith or Team State. So that's always one of the great mysteries. That's even more mysterious than Evansville Modern Day's lineup or Castle's lineup down south. The south is anti track wrestling. They say no to track wrestling, but we still know where their lineups are usually.
I read the first comment. I thought it said East Chicago, semi-state. Now, East Chicago does have some good wrestlers. Jorge Martinez is good. He beat Anthony Attrell last year. I
Yeah.
like the comments. I can see them now on the side. You said I didn't get to see them. Boonville, Boonville beating coming out in the Castle invite. I was interested in seeing Castle. I'm sure that's a little bittersweet. I seen Logan Sutton went over to Castle. He's at 13, so I'm sure Boonville feels good about getting that.
Yeah.
Jordan Folks, man, he's good. Jordan
Yeah.
Folks is really good.
Yeah. Boonville is one of those programs that you go to ISWA State and they always have like 30 kids. They have like it's crazy. I'm always like, where's Boonville? Where's Boonville? And they're always putting their time in. They have a really good youth club, at least from what I can tell. They always say entice a lot of kids to go up
I was
to go up to Indy.
I
So
was in Boonville this summer.
wow.
So Boonville is like right there with like Castle and Evansville. They're like right next door to Castle. Like I think it's like a block away. We
Oh,
did a
wow.
little softball in Boonville. They got a nice complex.
So you're right next to Paradise, the home of the Welch brothers.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Castle's a nice high school, man.
Yeah. No,
Silas Allred is an amazing young man. Kathy Neal said that he signed with Nebraska. That's like one of the nicest kids in the state, right?
yes.
The most well spoken state.
Until you get him on the
I
mat.
was looking for. Yeah. Even then, he's so like he's not like he's such a nice guy. He has to run things hard. It's like Brayton Lee. Shout out to Brayton for winning the Las Vegas. Like I was watching his video and I'm just thinking like, how can you not be a fan of this guy?
Yeah.
You watched his interview on Flow, and I'm thinking like, this guy is like the best. Like this is like what you want to like show your kids how to wrestle. Just a good kid.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's well, our great. We're very well prepared today. This is all off the cuff because I've been busy all day and I barely even looked at. I put up the this week in wrestling schedule. So, but yeah, Brayton Lee, Dylan Lighty finally beat Labriola. Finally, Labriola got him twice last year. Close matches, once in the blood round and on writing time, and then Mason Paris dominated guys. Paris is looking real good. It's real good. I'm kind of last year I was a little scared to see him wrestle Kassar and Gable, but this year I'm kind of excited to see what he does. So.
Yeah, really good showing for Indiana in general. Chad Ray got that huge win over Tariq Wilson.
Oh, pin him in 33 seconds.
That was awesome, man. That's like old. That we talked about the mental side, but that's like old Chad Red right there. That was awesome. Brayton Lee, Dylan Lighty, like you would expect the guys that we're talking about, the Brayton Lees, the Mason Parrish, Chad Red, like those guys had very decorated high school careers. Where you're like, yeah, I want to see what those guys do on the next level, and then you get a guy like Dylan Lighty who went to state one time, right? One time state guy, one time
Yep.
state champ, had some really good summer success, and like he's competing at the highest level in the Big Ten and doing very well.
Yeah, the whole Purdue finished fifth or sixth, I think. They had three guys in the finals. They looked real good. They wrestled real well. I'm excited to see. Obviously IU is starting to get in the right direction. Angels got that. They're 2 or 3 years probably behind what Purdue's been doing, but they're going to be catching up pretty quick. So there's a lot of good excitement in the D1 level, which is something we don't always have. Purdue has Kendall Coleman at 57. That's just lights out. He's wrestling real well. Freshman. It looks like Griffin Perriot's were starting to wrestle pretty well. Starting to, he's down a little bit weight. So I'm excited to watch Purdue. I'm excited to watch IU obviously too. But it's always fun to see that those teams are starting to do well and the programs are going in the right direction. And everyone always wants that they see some of those other big programs turn it around real quick. But it has to be a little bit slower when you're in the Big Ten and when you're fighting there. So. That's good to see. I'm happy for Lighty. Ran into Lighty's dad at NCAAs last year on the way out, and he's not a small fella, and he pushed the way so we could get out. Me and Chad could get out of the mass of people leaving. So I think I owe him a shirt or something. Hopefully he's listening, and I can get him a shirt. Maybe sends me his address because I do have some 3XLs. But yeah, I'm glad for Lighty. Good guy, good kid, and been grinding it out for quite a while, and doing what he needs to do, and he's doing well.
The shirts are a hot commodity, man. I handed a shirt out this weekend, and got like a real good response. So
Yeah.
definitely one of those cool things.
Yeah, I got a picture of
You know,
somebody. I don't know who it was. He's like, "Are you Joe?" I go, "He's like, yeah." I'm like, "Yeah." I always get scared because I don't know what. I'm like, I probably said something bad about their kid or something, and he's
oh
like, "Can
yeah,
I get a picture with you?" And his like son was holding it, but he's like, his son was just like, "Whatever, Dad, you're crazy." And so I don't know who it was. So there's probably a picture on Facebook or Twitter of me. And I know it was not to Jose Diaz because I'm still banning him for I think he has 23 days left on his sentence. And he can't have pictures with me either. So,
I told you like 1 year, like 2 years ago at the state finals, like a kid was trying to catch me on Snap, like on the backside. I said, dude, I'll turn around, man, I'll take a picture. It's like not a big deal. He's like, real? I was like, yeah. But it was probably like with this trash bag.
this guy said I wasn't good enough to be ranked. Wait, I'm not here, so
Yeah,
this
yeah.
guy ranked me
Don't
fourth,
worry,
and I
man. I
didn't make it
wasn't
to state.
ranked.
So yeah, a lot of good wrestling going on this weekend on the high school level, where I was at the Westfield Shamrock Slam. I have coined that. When they start using that for those T-shirts, I will require a royalty fee. Crown Point versus Carmel in the finals. I was trying to coach there, so I was actually coaching, I guess, if you call that sometimes. And it sounded like a pretty good heated duel. Not really heated, but just excitement, I guess. Fans, you could hear it seemed every 30 seconds one side was going crazy, the other was going crazy with a takedown or something. So good old fashioned duel. That's always good to see teams getting after
I
it.
think, and we kind of talked. Did we talk about it last week? I got to see Carmel's lineup, and they have a very like full team. Like they're very top to bottom solid. It's not like sometimes there's some teams that are going to be able to do it really well at the state finals because they have some really good individuals. And I'm not trying to trash what any program's doing. So as we start this, like Jimtown as a whole probably wasn't the best team last year coming out of Fort Wayne, but they won the Fort Wayne semi-state, right, with 3 really good wrestlers.
3 champs and guys that got
Where
3
Carmel,
bonus points in pretty much every match.
yeah, three hammers. Those dudes were monsters. And that's happened but like I thought when we looked at Carmel, I got to see Carmel's Ed sent me their thing, and I thought, man, like this is gonna be a really good squad. And he told me Suhas was going down to 6, and automatically I was excited because I knew that there was that possibility of going and Suhas, Sammy the Bull and Suhas Chundi, the smartest man in Indiana wrestling, the real brain, not Willie Saylor, the brain who self-coined.
the brain versus the
like
bull.
Literally, the Indiana, yeah, the brain versus
I like
the bull.
it.
Yeah, that was, and so you're possibly getting that state finals, and we'll go off to the side in a second because I have another one for 106. But when I got their lineup, I was like, wow, this is going to be a really good duel. But I didn't know how good their football guys were going to be shape wise. Those guys were playing state championship football a couple weeks ago, and like not just like, oh, they're on the team, they're kind of hanging out. They were like actually like Hayden how do you say it? Hecken Van Boyen? What is his name?
Van Buyen or something. Van Buyen. I want to see him under the lights. I want to see Kevin Whitehead say that name. Haken Van Buyen. I don't even know how he do it. Maybe we can get him.
That guy scored 2 touchdowns, right? He scored 2 touchdowns in the state championship game. So that was the only thing I was worried about. Like, oh man, maybe they won't be at full speed, or maybe we won't wrestle those guys. And Crown Point has hammers up and down that lineup where if you're not at full strength, it's going to be tough to compete with those guys because they're not just, like we said, like they're getting guys that are getting bonus points. Like not guys that are just getting like, oh man, like that 1-0 decision. They got guys that are out there like stomping kids.
Yeah.
So I was excited, and obviously we were doing the Harvest Classic. Luckily, IndianaMat was represented in house doing his coaching thing though.
Yeah.
But what a good duel, man! It ended up being a really good duel. Kind of when you sit down and you got a guy in your lineup that's almost a guaranteed win. I know not a lot of people have that luxury of like, hey, like this guy is a lock to win 100, like 99, let's say 99.9% of his matches, right?
Yeah.
Because there's always that like 1% where you get, the Brayton Lee take around match where you're like, I would have put money on that almost every single time, and he loses.
Hmm.
But a lot of times those guys aren't losing. But there's like something weird can happen, a slam or something like that. But you're gonna be 32 as the final match, so Carmel had to know like we got to build a super lead to get to that point. And obviously, when it comes down to that, you're talking. And dude, I get trashed sometimes. Like how I think there's a little bit of that this weekend. This week on the board, the board's starting to get heated up too. That's
Yeah,
that's what I
yes, it
love.
is. Yes, it
When the
is.
board starts going, that's when you know. Like it's like like hey, what weight is this guy going? When you start getting some real like, hey, we gotta start like putting the brakes on one of these comments. That's when you know like the board's getting good.
Yeah, you know it's wrestling
Um,
season. When?
yeah.
Yeah. No.
So we had I get a little bit of stuff sometimes, and it's easy for me to say like Sam Going's gonna be number one because he beat like Ocampo and he beat Logan Miller at IPO, and IPO's like a huge thing. Like we can look at like okay, what are these guys doing and how are they doing it? And we've been really lucky to have some really talented freshmen there, and even some talented like middle school guys compete. So it's easy for me to put a Sam Goin one, a Jesse Mendez one, but then there's like some guys in the middle, like our freshmen that are coming in that maybe like, they do pretty well, like Cody Goodwin and Orlando Cruz, and you're like, like I think those are, and I think Cody Goodwin's really good. Obviously, I think he could be a medalist this year. And then you get like people like, well, who's he beat? Like this is high school, it ain't middle school. It's like, bro, like these dudes are legitimately good. Like I don't need to like. It's not like, and dude, I grew up at the end of the '90s, early 2000s. I graduated. Kids that were like wrestling middle school were just out there like muscling kids around, and you're like, yeah, like that's how it is. It's not that no more. It's not like these kids aren't good. Like I need to see them against high school kids. Like no, they're like good across the board. Like Jesse Mendez was good in like seventh grade, enough probably to medal in Indiana.
Yeah. In eighth grade,
Like as an
he
eighth,
beat a state champ at IPO.
yeah. So like it's not that. So when I see those comments, I like kind of laugh. It's like are the other going to be like? And I don't think it was like a derogatory thing. Like are they super freshmen like Mendez? Like no, like you're not going to have a Jesse Mendez, Chad Red, Nick Lee every year. Like those are like and like that we had Nick Lee and Chad Red at the same time is like unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like that's like an unbelievable like thing for Indiana that these two monsters were in the state at the same time, were one class, and that they were going to be around the same weight. And I think that's like why that's so special. But there's also other good freshmen in the state that are like really good, that are going to be guys that are going to be competing, like obviously like in the ticket round or there. And I think those are the guys. I'm getting off subject, man. This is why we need a script sometime. That like Ed and like Cody LeCount and like the guys at like Carmel thought so highly that these freshmen, not like, hey, this guy got a medal, that this guy's already a returning medalist, that they're like, hey, we're starting at 38, let's bump Brendan Mattingly up so we could try to get bonus points to another kid. They bumped away from Cody, and I don't know if their strategy, but like you're bumping away from Cody Goodwin because you think you're going to get points somewhere else, right? And they bumped Brendan Madley, who's got 2 trips to the state finals and probably would have got a medal last year without injury. And he lost to Orlando Cruz, who's legitimately good. And they bumped Jake Schaefer, who's been a ticket rounder, and he lost to Willems. And it's like, dude, like that idea that like freshmen need to like prove themselves before they get ranked, that thing has to be dead, man. That's like a dead idea, right?
Yeah, no. I mean, there's so many. The biggest thing is we have so many more data points with them now that there's a little bit more. There's more national level events. We see those events. We see them on track, on flow, and we get the results, so we know ahead of time. Our middle school state is tough as nails, so you're going to see. And you look a couple years back, okay, who did these freshmen beat at middle school state? Who did they wrestle? Okay, he wrestled and it's a good point. You can see that, these guys wrestled so-and-so who end up being a state qualifier, or we know they're pretty good, as freshmen. So, okay, they wrestled a 1-point match with a state qualifier there, so we know kind of where they're coming. So, yeah, there's a lot of, we have a lot more data. Obviously some of these guys have wrestled at IPO as 8th graders, so we got a little bit more, that they wrestled at IPO before their freshman year. So, it's a lot easier to say that now. I mean, you used to be, you had ISWA results, and some of those were schoolboys, and we didn't see. You get the ISWA book. Do I have one right here? No. You look at it. Oh yeah, so and so might be kind of good. I remember when on the old board, when I think it was LPD, Lowell Tucker, saying something about Surtsis and Hernandez and Angel. Oh, they're going to be 4-timers, and I was probably on that. Like, no way. I don't know who these guys are, but no way. I mean, we've only had like 6, actually probably like 3 or 4 at that time. Like, he's like, they're going to be good. You better watch out. And, he was hyping. He was on that hype train early, and then, a lot of people ate some words. It's just one of those things. Now, a 4-timer is like, oh, yeah, this is semi-achievable. But before even Surtsis, it was so rare. That it was like you're smoking crack if you think this guy's going to be a state medal or state 4-time state champ. So that duel is pretty good. I'm looking at the rundown. I saw maybe the last 2 or 3 matches. I know I saw the end of the 120 match. It was a 3-3 match, and the Carmel kid tried like an arm drag, and somehow Anthony Ball from Crown Point kind of duck under, body lock right to his back for 4. So, and that's how the match ended. It was 3-3, and it was a nice little arm drag. He was almost right behind him, and then that was a. You're looking up through there. There's a lot of close matches. Cruz over Manling 3-0. Jake Schaefer lost 9-8. Davin over Taborski 11-7. Haken van Byman 2-1 over Crown Point guy. So there's a lot of
right? That's a kid that literally he wrestled in middle school. He's a senior. He just came back. He'll be in the semi-state rankings coming up. Yeah. And it's like, you go out there and wrestle that guy. That's athlete, right?
Yeah. No,
you need those guys.
Yeah, there's a lot of matches that you could wrestle this match again, and it could be 35-24 in favor of Carmel. Carmel, I know for a fact they weighed in about 18,000 kids. I think they weighed in about half their team, because my kids decided to be smart just to get right behind them in the weigh-in line. And I was talking to Ed. I was like, "How many guys are you guys gonna weigh in? I don't see an end to this weigh-in anytime soon." And he's like, "Well, if I could, I could technically weigh in all of my guys, but we sent a couple home." I'm like, "Oh, thanks." So yeah, they weighed in a lot of guys. I think again their first match at least, they wrestled a lot of backups. It might have been almost a varsity B team, mainly because they're just getting their guys. Those guys have been in the room a week, literally 5 days, and they're I'm sure that their bigger guys are football players. They have a really good relationship with their football players or football coach. So I'm sure. They're just trying to get their feet. They're trying to get their lungs a little bit. There's no way they're in wrestling shape in 5 days. There's no possible way. Ed's a miracle. Ed's not that quite good of a miracle worker. So should be. It could. Give them a couple more weeks in the room, and it could be a little bit different. It could obviously be reversed there, and there's a lot of good matches. I know the Goen and Chundy match. I didn't see it. I was coaching, and it was loud. It was real loud. So. That's going to be...
That's an awesome match, right?
Yeah. So
the bull in the brain, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. I don't know if we'll see that until state again, but that's a one to watch in the future. So, that was pretty good day of wrestling. Yeah. I told... we have a 106-pounder that I guess is like a valedictorian level kid. And I said, "Look, that kid over there, he missed one on his SAT." He's like, "Phew, dummy."
Yeah. Dude, the craziest thing. So we kind of knew about that stuff because we had talked about it and stuff, and obviously in that level of intelligence, you're gonna go to a really good school, but hey, they're only taking so many of these kids for this biology thing, and he was 26th in the world, in the world. It's oh, I want that guy to do whatever he wants to do because someday I might get sick and I want him to cure it for me.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's to say you're 26th in the world in anything is pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 25th. I'm in the 25th percentile of BSing. I think.
Yes. So yeah, that's some good wrestling.
Overtime match. 1-1 goes to overtime. Like that's what you want, and that's like if it was a blowout, like then it'd be like, oh yeah, I knew that kid wasn't that good. Then it's 1-1 and it goes to overtime. You know that those kids are close and it's right there.
Yeah, yeah, it should be.
So
I mean, hopefully they. I mean, if they're number 1 and 2, I mean, you got Logan Miller had a good win this weekend in Ohio,
yeah,
and I know Miller's going to be. He wrestled a real close one with going, and Snyder does some good things in the postseason. He gets those kids ready. They have good game plans, so it's gonna be that's gonna be an interesting weight class because Miller, he has overcome some very big odds of his dad, who is not very athletic and not very smart and ugly and a lot of different things.
Oh,
I was waiting for my phone to blow up in about 3 seconds. The kid's overcome some adversity with his father.
Yeah, that he even has a kid, right?
Yes, yes.
I like Jason. Jason's a good dude.
Yeah. No,
so we'll possibly get to see that match at the Crown Point, like Carl Carnahan duel, because Brownsburg's coming up, so you could possibly see, Sam going,
yeah, you're gonna see
and
that.
Miller going at it, which.
And I think Carmel's at Team State, aren't they? Or am I wrong? I might be wrong.
Yeah, but Crown Point is not.
Yeah, well, but Brownsburg is. So we could definitely, we could possibly see them. You can see that. Oh, here comes the text.
Yeah.
Jason just said that I was a nice young man, and he likes me a lot.
So, like you're talking, but man, and I was talking to Ed about this, and I'm not like out here banging the drum for Carmel, but I feel like Carmel kind of gets the short. Like they're gonna get like drawn out of the hat, right? Like they're gonna be like, oh, what are you guys gonna get? Like, all right, you're getting like one of these like sides. You'll get like, hey, you're in the bracket with Brownsburg and Warren Central. It's like, dude, like, are you for real?
Yeah, no, that's gonna be
definitely. That was obviously Westfield's done a great job of putting that thing together, man. That thing's awesome.
Yeah,
they had a school there I didn't even know had a wrestling team, honestly.
Yeah, Victory College Prep. I kind of when I saw it on there when I got the thing, it used to be Indianapolis Lighthouse Academy. It's it was a it was a charter school, and then they kind of went off, and it was like a national level charter school, I think. I don't know, but they weren't very good, but that's, hopefully they can get their program going. It's always good to have more programs. It's an inner city school, so always want more programs. More kids wrestling is always good. So,
Wheeler Wrestling's asking about the hospitality room at Westfield, but I'm gonna tell you, for the Carnahan, hands down, Lake Central Harvest Classic got one of the best hospitality rooms.
Oh, throwing the shade on everybody.
I would do that tournament for free.
Nice.
I'm gonna tell you, these dudes are out here. We had the cater thing for our softball Christmas party. I'm hitting up their catering service.
the moms of Lake Central.
No, it's not. They cater it.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah, it's a catered event. The officials were loving it. I got to eat lunch with those guys. How great is it when you get to eat lunch with some of the best officials, at least the funniest ones? I don't know if they're the best.
Oh yeah, no, that's
always big show there.
Oh yeah, no, the group of officials are always fun to hang out with when I'm not yelling at them. they like me a lot better in the.
You yell at them a lot?
No, sometimes maybe. I don't know. But if you do a good job, I don't yell at you. I mean, that's simple. Just don't make any bad calls. So yeah.
I like those guys.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Really good crew at the Harvest Classics. I don't know what you guys had out of Westfield because all the best ones are in Lake Central this weekend.
We could have had some help in some areas, so I'll leave it at that. There's some guys that say that a guy that's ranked like 7th or 8th is kind of raw, might be pretty good soon, and kind of just was an interesting conversation. So yeah, he might be good if he works hard and keeps his nose to the grindstone. So
ranked 7th or 8th. We got official rankings? Or are you talking about actual rankings?
No. He said a wrestler of ours, a little bit closer to 285 pounds, was a little raw. Could use a little work, but you have some potential with him.
He's a big boy.
Yeah, that's an understatement. he's he's
Some more. Looks like Indiana did pretty well across the state too. Modern Day looked like they smashed everyone down there. They had some. Were they at Kentucky and Illinois there?
yeah, I think it was yeah, and North Posey, the Posey.
Yep.
So yeah,
I
North
like
Posey's
North
not
Posey.
afraid to wrestle anyone. That's always good to see. Um, what else did we have last week? I have to go back to last week's post about it and see what we had.
Brownsburg. You had the Brownsburg out in Ohio. They look like they took care of business.
Yeah, Brownsburg and Roncalli and East Central. Sounds like East Central had a pretty good day too. They never. I don't think any of the Indiana teams met up. Which, you think, oh, Brownsburg and Roncalli, same place. You kind of want to see them wrestle, but they didn't. What we had? What was the big DAC duel that was going on? Was it Chesterton and?
That was Portage. Yeah, it was Chesterton Portage this week. Man, Portage just like, hey, you know what? We're gonna open up with the two toughest teams in the DAC. I think we're gonna go Crown Point right off the bat, and then we're gonna go Chesterton right after that. How do you want to get prepared for it? You want to get like 6 through 52, some of the toughest kids 6 through 60, like little guys, where all your little guys are going to have to go out there and wrestle some of the top ranked guys in the state? Or do you want to go wrestle Chesterton and have all your big guys wrestle some of the best guys in the state?
Yeah.
So definitely not the best opening for Portage. And then, they just get Maryville on Wednesday. So
so it gets a little, no, it doesn't get any easier. Yeah.
But this week we'll have Chesterton Crown Point. We're going to do a live coverage with RSN.
Nice.
Yeah, it'd be good.
They got, forgot, Cathedral Super 6. Other than LaSalle kind of bailed on them last second. I guess.
How bogus is that?
They said because they won state football on Thursday, and there was something. But they bailed on. I'll call them out maybe. I called. They bailed on Brownsburg last year. Brownsburg was supposed to duel them and maybe Stain Eds or something like that, and all of a sudden I was like, I asked Snyder, I go, what happened to that duel? He's like, I thought you guys were supposed to wrestle. Yeah, they never signed their contract, and then they called us 3 days before. It's like, yeah, we're still wrestling, right? And like, no, you didn't return a contract, so we scheduled something else. So yeah, they're supposed to have a real big duel. I think it was like St. Ed's and them and LaSalle and Brownsburg, maybe someone else, but someone forgot the paperwork of signing the contract and get everything done. So it looked like the Cathedral Warren Central match was really good. A lot of really good matches there, to say the least. I'm pulling that up. Avon didn't quite have everyone there, it didn't look like, but they still obviously are going to wrestle a good schedule. Warren Central got put in there twice.
Yeah, I wonder if obviously I've heard they're gonna cut some weight and they're gonna move. They're all bunched up in the same spot, and I think that's really difficult because you have to have some kids that are gonna be willing to cut weight and guys that are gonna willing to say, hey, I'm gonna miss a couple meals for the team.
Yeah. They Seltzer over Carlton Perry, major decision. Logan Bailey over Jevian Ross 7-3. Let's see the other big wins. They kind of matched. Holden Parsons, Dennis Hubbard 1-0. David Gould, Alex Hernandez 3-2 in ultimate tiebreaker. So some good matches.
I wonder how big Alex Hernandez wrestled heavyweight to start the year off and won that tournament. He beat Antoine Alexander, right? Wasn't that who he beat?
No, he would have been at the.
No, he was. He beat someone that was pretty solid, I thought.
He would have been at the John Hurley, and I will bring that up right now. He beat No, he didn't beat anyone. He tech faulted a guy in the finals, 27-12.
Sometimes I'm wrong too.
Yeah, no, he tech faulted the Fishers guy, Max Khan. So yeah, but yeah, good duel there. I want to say the Warren Central versus Avon match had some good matches. Um, let's see, Ray Rio over Andre Beatty, 5-1. Javian Ross over Tyler Conley, 7-3. Jaden Reynolds over Jujuan Anderson. Colton Roberts, he's a freshman or sophomore, isn't he? For Avon, that's supposed to be pretty tough. Bryce Coleman
Yeah.
beat him. And everything else went fairly well to chalk. Let's see, where's Avon? Avon wrestled Warren. No, Cathedral. There we go. The Avon Cathedral match. It was 52-16, but obviously there's some good matches there. Seltzer beat some unknown guy by fall. Logan Bailey over Tyler Conley, 6-1. Yeah, that's probably the bigger matches there. So, yeah, that was I don't think Avon matched up very well with them, which not very many people are going to match up well with Cathedral. But Cathedral looked pretty solid, it
Big
looks
win
like.
for Sinkovic too.
Yeah, Sinkovic.
I mean, Culver obviously they got into that. I'm sure they thought they were going to be having 4 more years and 2 more years of another. Some really good guys. Some guys that decided that Indiana wasn't for them. They don't like sunshine and blue skies out in Culver, Indiana.
Lake Maxatucky. That's always a good one.
They didn't like Lake Maxatucky,
Yeah.
which I find to be, terrible. But now they're going to wrestle. But I mean that happens. They were Ohio kids. They came here for a year. Now they're other kids. So.
So yeah, Sinkovic's over Beatty, and then Brady Welch beat a couple. He beat Damon McLean, and he beat somebody. Who else did he beat? That was pretty solid. I think he beat
Tyler Wagner.
Wagner, yeah. So good day for those guys. So yeah, that's a good start to the season there. Yeah, the next Super Duels, the NECC, and make sure Mike Poppy and Kraus are happy. We talk about that. Eastside defeated the perennial power Prairie Heights. They won 61 straight. Any neck duels? That's pretty impressive. So
it is. That's really impressive.
Yeah, no, that's DeKalb County just dominating the neck super duels because Garrett went 5-0 also. I don't know very many individual results because they didn't put their stuff in until until late this afternoon, so I didn't get to really analyze the neck super duels as much as I'd love to. Maybe that'll be tomorrow night's show. We'll just talk about all neck duels, a whole 3 hours.
I think you got to turn into Dane's podcast for that one. Isn't that his neck of the woods?
Yeah, a little further north, but yeah.
Don't steal Dane's material, man.
No, but hey, if you a great segue. If you have our podcasting app, you can listen to the Dane and Rex show. Rex Brewer, they have a nice little show they did last week. Real good stuff. Very well formatted and organized, unlike this. And a lot of good information, not only just in the Adams County area, which Adams County has some pretty decent wrestling. Also, they talk about statewide stuff, statewide rankings. Had interview with South Adams coach and stuff. So they're gonna keep going. That's gonna be we're gonna upload that. I think they do on Tuesdays, so we're gonna get that. Listen to it. You got an hour of your time. It's pretty good stuff. So. You can run it on CB or ham radio. Yes. We'll work on that. We got to use our. We got to get our CB handles. So we're more up in the Prairie Heights neck area, so they can understand this stuff. Any other big events going on this weekend that you saw? Any big results?
The results are kind of like trickling in. I mean, that's why it's tough to get the semi-state rankings out. or the state. I have the semi-state updated, but the state rankings are tougher to come out because like I'll get them like scheduled up, and then someone will say like, "You didn't see this result?" I'll be like, "Nah, missed that one, man."
Yeah.
Uh, but it's been good. Laporte, like Maryville went out there. I don't think there was anything really, really close. I thought there was like a Bloomington one. Wasn't there like a Bloomington Super Duel with
Yeah.
South and
Yeah.
Center Grove?
Yeah, they had a Bloomington Super Duel that had some decent results. I can bring that up here in a second, and I'm sure they.
Man, uh, oh boy, he got big. His dad said he is staying at 82.
Who is that?
Can't think of his name right now. Give me one. I'm sure someone will get it before I do.
Yeah, Bloomington North, South.
Drake Buchanan.
Oh yeah.
Drake Buchanan is staying. I had him ranked at 52. He was at 38 last year. He is staying at 82.
And
he beat Wade Preston.
Yeah, is he? Has he been sneaking over to Mama Warren's house? the
Warren house. So. He made that. He made a little bit bigger jump than Warren, right? Warren was at 45.
Yeah.
At 38, he said, "You know what? Let's get big."
So we got to start checking off. Okay, we want to go hang out with the Mama Buchanan, Mama Warren. Let's see, where's the best places to eat in Indiana? Well, what mom makes the best meals? We're just have to start. We're just gonna have a list. We're gonna have Can we do that as a ranking? Based on how many weight classes your son jumps in a year, we're gonna. That's gonna be a very big determining factor.
Yeah, so he made a huge jump, and then he went out there and beat Wade Preston, who was ranked pretty highly. I think Wade Preston took 2 losses. He also lost to Columbus North, so not his best day, but I think that he peaks at the end.
Yeah.
Nick Holt beat.
Yeah, go ahead. Preston lost to Buchanan.
Nick Holt beat Wade Preston.
Yeah. Yep. Bloomington South. They always has a good team. They always do well when they get went at the right time.
There's some interesting names down the lineup for Center Grove. Some guys that did well at the Al Smith that I saw last year. Some guys that were, I think, semi-state level guys that kind of looking at their lineup. Maybe they have some guys out right now, but you're just kind of like, that's an odd that guy's not in the lineup. And obviously the biggest one when he's injured, we know that Littell's not in, which would change their lineup, completely.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So they should be an interesting. Right now it's kind of you got most of your lineup. I know. Every team's gonna have some injuries, has some other things going on that some kids are in and out of the lineup right now. It's early in the season. Kids can't get down to weight. A lot of things going on there that you need to make sure that it's you don't see quite their full lineups yet, and so it's going to be interesting once we start. This week's going to be some good matches. Next, starting to heat up, and it's coming quick. This past week was like a huge week, kind of really the big kickoff. You kind of trickled in the first couple weeks, and now it's like wrestling season's here, and it's like, oh crap, make sure you guys put in your individual results. Garrett did put their stuff.
Castellucci made that jump too.
Yeah, where's he at? He was pretty big. He's
32. He was 13 last year.
Oh, geez. The token 20-pound jump.
Good for them, man.
These kids are eating these days. That's good. That's good you're not cutting weight. And, that's true. Yeah. And he went 4-1, lost to Hayden Watson, who's pretty darn tough. Let's see. Let's talk
Hayden
about...
Watson made that jump from 13 also.
Yeah. Let's talk about the... before we get into next week's, our fun and new segment of the all-decade team. We have the is it 132? Yeah, it's 132/130-pound weight class this week, and that was pretty ugly, loaded. Got a question from Jason Sursis, can you vote for yourself? And that is very much encouraged. I figured he should vote for himself.
Did he vote for himself?
Well, he can't tell us who voted.
Whoever for?
Yeah, I'd assume he did. But 132 is pretty crazy. Oops, come on. Where are we at? You have a Did we do that this week? Yeah, we did. That's this week.
Yeah.
Jared McKinley, Cody LeCount, Chad Red, Surtsis, Chad Red senior year, not senior, the oldest one. Jason Surtsis, 2010 would have been his sophomore year at 130. At 130, because he was 25, right? His freshman year.
Yeah.
Junior Nick Lee, senior Graham Rooks, Neil Malloy at 130, which would have been his sophomore year. DeAndre Wilson senior year, Braden Bailey senior year, Asa Garcia senior year. So
Yeah. So a lot of state championships in that mix.
yes. Got 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, another 8, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 24. And 8 guys. That's an average of 3. Yeah, Nick Lee was the one that was the worst. Nick Lee and Braden Bailey, they both only had 1. They're slacking.
Yeah. Yeah, Nick Lee might be the best one-time state champ of all time.
Yes. So yeah, that was.
What is? Come on, man. They asked a question real quick. They said any result you want to add is like semi. If the kid was at semi-state, it's a notable win, and then if they're in the rankings, right? Is that all notable?
Well,
wins?
I mean, if they have a profile, that's probably a notable win, which means they're either on our watch list or they were previous semi-state qualifiers. So those are always going to be used for whether they're state or semi-state rankings. It's always used for that, and the more results, the merrier. And I know someone did ask, we beat someone that has a profile. Can you create a profile? Well, not exactly. Send that information to our rankings guys, and then once they determine that so-and-so is rankable, we'll make him a profile. Then you can add that later. So, yeah. So that's the kind of, just if they have a profile, add that result, and then, if your guy beats a guy that doesn't have a profile, just send the rankings guys a message, and when they update the rankings, if he's in there, he'll get a profile. I don't want to create too many profiles, because then I want to make it, you got to earn a profile kind of thing. That way we don't have everyone and their mother having a profile and bogging down the system because we're looking for everybody. So Wheeler, you just send me the results and I'll post them for you. Don't worry there, Jose.
Personal text at 317
867-5309.
773 212.
Now someone's gonna get some text right now. So yeah,
that's Luna, man. He's gonna have to text Luna for windows and doors or something.
Nice. But yeah, anyway, 130. Man, Chad Red senior year, Jason Surtsis sophomore year, Asa Garcia senior year. I'd like to see all those guys duke it out right now. I'll set up, and most of them can still compete pretty well. So I'd love to see them right now battling it out.
We can bracket this up. Like, I'm sure Jason and Asa probably get to wrestle all the time, with Jason being on staff at IU.
Oh yeah, and
Rooks.
Chad and Nick Rooks is there too.
Yeah. So, and then Chad and Nick have already been wrestling.
Yeah. So that's
wrestled last year, so they're 1-1.
Yeah. So I'd probably say Red senior year ranked number 1 in the country. It'd probably be one of my top guys there. I mean, it's hard to say when you're ranked number 1 in the country that you're not a pick for the best one in there. So. And
you beat another top 5 guy in the country for your state championship.
Yeah. You had to go through Nick Lee, who's also on that list.
Yeah.
So, this week's going to be fun. We're going to have 10 here. This is where we combined 35, 38, and 40. So, complain all you want. Brock Norton, Jason Surtsis, junior year. Devin Jackson, Caden Rooks, senior year. Frankie Porras. There's a name that he was real tough back in the day. Tommy Forte, Brendan Black. We got two Hobart guys. Chris Rump. He's beat Rump. There we had Ethan Rayleigh, first Super 32 champ from Indiana. Tommy Cash ×2, and Brayton Lee. That would have been his 38. Would have been his sophomore year. That would have been his first title.
So you got Brayton Lee, who just won the Las Vegas Open. Tommy Cash, one of those state championships was against Jolie.
Yeah.
Who
Bailey
one was in like a
Black beat
close to
Rum.
like Drew Hughes.
Yeah, he beat.
Yeah,
No, he never. I don't think Cash ever beat
he
Hughes.
didn't wrestle Drew.
Yeah, Hughes got
No,
beat.
Hughes
So
in the quarters,
yeah.
and then man, that's such a Frankie Porras. That wasn't the year. The year before was the year he beat Harper, right?
Maybe if there was a
Like
website.
they didn't wrestle at state, but I know that like one year they were like wrestling all the time.
Yeah, is that the year that he was in there? Let's see. Yeah, these 2010 guys are are interesting because everyone's kind of forgetting. You kind of forget about them because let's see, Frankie Porras was. Oh man, the database is out. There's something wrong with that one. Good, I messed something up. Let's see. Yeah, I think that was the year he was in there. So let me check that out real quick. State tournaments, 2010. This is great live video. We were very much organized. Let's see, 135. Oh,
I think Frankie
Frankie
Porras
beat.
is going into the. Good.
No, he beat Josh Martin, PJ Montgomery, Kirk Johnson, and Justin Beck from Leo. Cameron Brady was there. No, that was not the year he. That was his senior year. So no. Obviously, must have been his junior year.
Frankie Porras, I think he's going in the Hobart Hall of Fame this year.
Nice.
Cosgrove, Galka, and Porras, I think, are all going in. I was trying to lobby to have them do it the same night as Crown Point and Hobart, but they did not. I think it's like Hobart Griffith duel or something.
Yeah, that was the year before where Harper was in his weight class in 2009. So yeah.
So that one did not make the cut.
No, that did not make it. It was 2010 and on. So Wheeler Wrestling, Alex Ursus is not in this talk. Maybe when we do the all.
That's like the 20-year.
Yeah.
That'd be like the 20 edition.
Yeah, we can't do that many polls. That'd be kind of hard to keep track of. That'd be like a 20-man bracket.
Yeah.
Which is kind of hard to do with maximum of 4. But yeah, this week's gonna be kind of fun. I always it's kind of funny seeing the people voting on those types of things. So keep voting. It's all fun to see where a lot of the newer guys are getting some votes. I know some people are peddling for votes. This week's going to be very, very interesting to see who all comes out on top. So, yeah. This week's action. Let me see if I can find that post, because I have it all in a web page. What do we have this week? You said Chesterton and Crown Point.
Yeah, Chesterton and Crown Point on Wednesday. Also, Maryville and Portage is, I think, Wednesday. So, but I know RSN's covering Chesterton and Crown Point, which I think is going to be a really good duel. I think they match up pretty well.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting.
Yep, that is on the 11th, which is what, Wednesday? Yep, they all have that. That should be a good match. Hey, we get to see Garrett Adams Central. Neck versus ACAC, ACAC battle.
Showdown.
Let's see. I'm just going through the matches, see if we see any other big ones. Prairie Heights at Homestead. The Northeast 8 has some good matches. I know. Was that last week? That was last week where Columbia City and Belmont. Who'd Belmont have a good match with? I think that was that. That might have been a couple weeks ago. Fishers at Carmel. New Pal at Cathedral. Mishawaka goes up to Lakeshore, Michigan. Maryville Portage. Crown Point has the Oak Park River Forest, Detroit Central Catholic, Providence, DeKalb, Illinois, not DeKalb, Indiana. So that should be a good one. Is that duels or is that an individual tournament? Do you know, Mike?
I'm pretty sure it's duels.
Yeah. And once you
It should
start
be
going,
good. I mean, I don't know how. I know Oak Park River Forest used to be like nasty, but I don't think they're as good as they were, right?
yeah, they still have some good kids. Columbus East Franklin Community on Thursday. That should be a good one. That should be a real good one. Uh, yeah, Franklin. Obviously, Tante's. Yeah, that was that. Yeah, that was this week. The Perry
Yeah, that
versus
was
Franklin. That was it. Came down the last match, and they Tante or not Tante. Um, what's his name? Cotty got bumped up basically two weights. Obviously, he had obviously weighed in at 20, but they last match came down to him, and he finished it for them.
we kind of talked about that the Carmel duel. That's probably you guys 1-1A with him and Warren, but that's where you want to end a matchup, right? That's all for you got Cotty going out there for the last match. That's what you want.
Yeah, definitely. That's an ace in the hole there. Um, let's see. East Central Union County. There's a lot of matches this week. Not a lot of good weeknight duels. You get, let's see, the ACAC duels are this weekend. The ACAC duels, they run their whole tournament all weekend. So
Brownsburg Avon.
what'd you say?
It says Brownsburg Avon this week, right?
Is
December
it?
12th. Are we going? I think I'm going the other direction you are.
Oh, yeah, okay. I totally skipped over that. So yeah, Brownsburg Avon this week. That's always a fun rivalry. There's a lot of mutual respect, but I don't think they are exactly gonna um, exchange Christmas cards. Maybe it's that's a good rivalry in all sports. Brownsburg's also going up to the Grappler Gold Universal World Championships. Some good solid Davison, Dundee, Michigan, Lowell, Michigan, St. John's. A lot of good teams up there. That is an individual tournament. I know Mater Dei went there last year. Doesn't look like they're back. The Jim Nicholson. A lot of individual tournaments at Elkhart Memorial. Have a few good team. Penn will be there. Wheeler. There you go, Wheeler. There's your both Elkhart teams. Jimtown, so it should be decent. You got the Eagle Invite, Center Grove, at Zionsville, Center Grove, Chesterton, Franklin Central, Mooresville, Zionsville. There should be some good big guys up there, I believe.
That's an individual tournament. That's good.
Yeah.
That's always a good one.
Yeah. Then you got down south. You got Evansville Memorial Invite. There's a lot of Evansville teams there. I'm trying to think of who else we see here. Any big duels going on? The Tom Cameron. Oh yeah, isn't it? It's Trikoff week, isn't it?
Trikoff week. I thought you were saving it for last. I was just like, oh, okay.
Actually, yes.
Trikoff and TC this weekend.
Yes.
Tom Cameron should be good. Also, they added Hobart. Now we finally maybe we get to see that Lafayette Harrison Hobart friction from a couple years ago. Comes full circle.
Oh yes, they love. Is not lost there. Harrison, you got Highland, Hobart, Kankakee Valley has some good kids. Maryville, I think that's a Penn B team. Plymouth will be there, so there should be some good matches there.
Yeah, I mean you could have maybe. I'm sure Graham Calhoun. He likes to bump around. Maybe he goes up against Chris Walton.
Yeah.
You get to see Will Kreider. He probably go out there and get some pins.
Yes, in the most awkward arm rolls, and he's so hard to wrestle. You got the Trikoff, obviously. You got Calumet, Culver, Floyd Central, Franklin, Garin Catholic's there this year. You'll see, I assume you'll be there, or at least keeping an eye on results. Cathedral, Lawrence North, Lowell, Mishawaka, Munster, Portage, South Bend Riley, Southmont, Valpo, and Westfield. So some good teams there. Usually Tuesday-ish, Coach Watkins comes out with the draw. Obviously, Cathedral's probably going to be number one. I don't know. I mean, you're looking at Mishawaka or Franklin, probably 2-3. That's what I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think Mishawaka's, man, they're hammer like 60 through heavyweight, right? Yeah. And that's not to say like that their 52 isn't good. I always say that, but then they're like wasn't this kid good? Like, I don't know, man. AJ Poindexter in here. Congratulations on the commitment.
Yes. Yeah, that should be a good
Uh,
one. Yeah, Harrison versus Western was sound like there's a couple ranked matches going in there. I didn't even see the results. Maybe I'll pull that up real quick.
and did you see Hunter Cottingham's at 32 again? That's crazy.
Yes, he
He's been
has not
32
grown.
every year, right?
Yeah, yeah, he has not. He wrestled 26 his freshman year, and then has gone 32. They must. Yep. Oh, we do have results there. That's. Oh man, Harrison beat him 28-24. Cottingham bumped up. Poindexter beat Shepherd to battle two state qualifiers at 145. Ooh, 170 at a double DQ. Come on, AJ. I want to know what that is all about. And minus no one. Okay, that both team is -3 for both teams. So technically, which is the dumbest rule in all of athletics, is you could actually have a negative point in wrestling. And then Herb beat Kreider.
Oh, we didn't even talk about that. Kreider and Herb, right?
Yep, yeah. Sounds like Herb, Herb's going up, staying up is what the word on the street is, I guess. And Kreider's tough to wrestle. He's 6'7", and he does weird things, and it's hard to emulate. As a coach, and we wrestled his brother at a few years ago at state, and it's like, how do you prepare for this guy? You just can't. You just got to go out there and hope you don't get caught in an arm roll. So
AJ said they had a boxing match.
Oh yeah, sometimes that's frowned upon in wrestling. So yeah, you don't usually see the double DQ. So that's why that score. I was like, man, that score is really low. Because what's the minimum score you could have? 42. That's the minimum score you could technically have is 42 points. There's 52 right there. So that's if everything's decisions, and there weren't all decisions. So that's a good win. Good match. Western's going to be a tough team to wrestle this year. So they're going to be probably. I assume maybe are they number 1 in 2A? If only we had rankings here. I know Dane just released.
If only Dane was.
Yeah, if only Dane was on here. I think they are. Maybe they are. We'll see. Yep, they are. So that's them, Norwell, Oak Hill. Well, we'll see. So 2A is going to be interesting. I know we're kind of working out some kinks on a really big super bracket reveal show. So look for information on that once we get close. It'll be like New Year's Eve, so it'll be a party. We'll have our party hats on. Might be at the Double Eagle, so might be able to get some fans down there to. It's in Decatur.
Yeah.
No, I have not, but that's where I believe that's where Razzo works. So he can hook us up.
I watched his Snapchat. It looks like a nice place.
Yeah, it sounds like he. They have good food there, and it's in Decatur. No better place to spend your New Year's Eve in Decatur.
I can think of several.
New York City or Decatur. Come on, I'll take Decatur all day long.
I think just kind of look at the track-off. I think there's gonna be a lot of really good individuals there. I don't know if this is like not a good year for like full teams there. Like Floyd Central has some really good guys. They have some like state quarterfinal guys, state semifinal guys. Cathedral's obviously really good. I think Lawrence North has some good bodies. Lowell has a couple really good guys. Mishawaka is probably closer to a team. I think Munster's down. Porter's just jumping right in it, man. Like Porter's like, hey, we're just gonna roll with it. We're gonna wrestle Crown Point, Chesterton, Harvest Classic, Maryville, Trikoff. Let's just go.
Oh, and then go to Mater Dei Classic.
And then go to Mater Dei Classic. They're at Brecksville. Are they at Mater Dei?
Nope. They're at Brecksville, I guess, is on a Sunday this year. Ohio just has no rules whatsoever. They just do whatever they want. So all the Indiana teams obviously had to bail because we can't wrestle on Sundays. So yeah, they went out. They're going to Evansville.
Yeah. So yeah. So let's just stay in the fire.
We're just gonna have a weekly segment. Who is Portage throwing their guys out to today? Oh, look, they're wrestling Penn State next week. Yeah. Then they're gonna go.
Cool.
Yeah.
they invited Arizona State to the gym. They're gonna run with those guys.
Yeah. Oh look, Iowa's coming down because they wanted some good competition, I guess. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, Portage isn't afraid of competition. We're never going to say they're shying away from their schedule. So
No.
yeah. So it's going to be interesting. I did definitely, the top four teams are kind of, top 4 or 5 are kind of clear cut, but after that, definitely want to see some good matches. There's obviously, I'd love to just kind of pair these up, get those 4 or 5 seeds done and then kind of pair them up so we can see some big matches. South Bend Riley, I think, should be pretty solid this year. They have some guys returning, and Bill Flatt always does a good job coaching those guys up. So,
They're like real solid, like right in the middle, like Sean Lewis, Simon Norton, those guys.
yeah, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6 or 7 guys that have profile, so that's always a good thing. No, Warren Central is not coming there. I don't know who we would have said that would have. No, just
Lawrence. I might have said Lawrence Central, but I meant Lawrence North.
yeah, Lawrence North is there.
Sorry, Ryan.
Yeah, so no, it should be some good wrestling. Obviously, Cathedral's gonna probably be the heavy favorite. Westfield had a pretty good day this week. They wrestled pretty well. They beat Zionsville and a pretty solid Mount Vernon Fortville team. So they have a pretty solid. They have a couple good hammers, and then they have a pretty good, just solid team top to bottom. I know they're heavyweight. There's only a sophomore. I saw this. They wrestled Brownsburg. They're heavyweights. I have to find this whole name because it is very long. He only lost to Keys 4-1. So that's kind of interesting to keep an eye on. I think their heavyweight's name is Mihalis Planonovs. I don't know. I'll let Mike butcher it. Mike's usually better at butchering names. But
man, I even butcher some simple names too, man. I'm like John Smith.
Smith.
Like Smith. Like okay. Just so it's spelled like how it sounds. Okay.
So one question: is it Fort Wayne Carroll or is it just Carroll?
Depends how the day's going.
Just Carroll. So
just well, we have 2 Carols, and it sounds like that was a confusion with a guy going to an RTC one time.
yes. There was a confusion. There's sometimes there's confusions about like some teams send their bus goes to South Bend Adams instead of South Adams, which
that's great.
Which is not a
AJ,
when you
explain that one to us also.
yes, AJ. How did you? And it's not like they were coming from across the street. They're coming from Lafayette, so they went all the way up to South Bend and then had to go down to Bird. That was quite the scenic route. Yeah. I'd like to know the. I can't imagine the conversation. Like crap, we're at the wrong school. not that we're okay. Oh, we need to be at South Bend Riley. Okay, we just have to go down the road. No, we're going to have to go another. Right, that's at least 2 hours.
Happens to the pros too, man. Did you see the Chiefs had their equipment sent to the wrong state?
No.
They went to New Jersey, not New England.
Oh, jeez.
It happens to the pros too, man.
Yeah, someone's not having a job tomorrow if that happens. Jeez. Yeah. No. Yeah, that's a I'm gonna have to. I'm seeing how long how far away that is, South Bend Adams to Burn, because I know that is not a 2 hours and 22 minutes. So you're talking a 2.5 hour drive after you already just came from Lafayette, which Lafayette to Burn really just straight across the state. Oh my goodness, that's that's gonna be interesting. Because I know our bus driver this week. I was like, hey, how are we getting, as actually when we were going up to Prairie Heights, I was asking, they're going up 69, which I usually would just go up 327, but I know everyone around here knows that, but and I asked her just to make sure she was going the right direction. She's like, oh no, we're going this way. I'm like, okay, that'll work too. So sometimes it helps knowing your
that kind of guy, Joe.
Yeah, you just got to make sure you know where you're going. That way we're not taking the super scenic route. you know, it is. We
You
were
always
going
got
up.
to human traffic you, man.
Yes. So, anything else? You'll be at the Chesterton Crown Point match, I assume.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do the live broadcast. So you guys can check me out. Listen to me ramble on. I don't think I call actual moves. I just tell stories.
Nice.
So
Hey, that's fine.
then the modern day Franklin Roosevelt.
Nice. And then I will be at the Dwenger versus Carroll match, the Carroll sectional battle royale, and then going down to Delta. So we'll see a couple decent teams down there. Delta has a few state.
Enjoy Muncie.
Yes, we'll see. You know, Delta has a couple state qualifiers at 20 and 26, so that's going to be not good for us probably. Um,
Payne Blackburn.
Payne Blackburn and John Robinson. So why do we keep putting JV results in there? Don't put JV results. If there's two JV teams wrestling, we don't want to see them. Okay, I already yelled at one person about that today.
You're an elitist, huh?
I'm ruthless
Okay.
right now. Live and ruthless. So, and then will you be heading to the alma mater, Calumet New Tech High School?
I'm gonna try to make it over there. I'm gonna do the broadcast with Region. I think we're gonna do the Tom Cameron this year, just to see, because I think Hobart, Maryville, maybe get some Harrison, Maryville, Harrison, Hobart. So I think they're gonna do that, and then I think that usually finishes up before the Tri-Off. So I'm gonna try to skate over there and see Big Jim Tante making his Calumet high school debut.
Oh, nice. Yeah, he'll get baptized by the region in Calumet pretty quickly.
Yeah, so if you guys are looking for food options at the Tri-Off, you got a Sharks across the street with an X. Get the lemon pepper wings. You can hit Mr. Goodies. There's a rib spot over there. It's pretty good. Like kind of like a Greek place, but they got good ribs. Or if you want to venture off, go a little bit further east, you can go to Big Daddy's Barbecue. They won the neighborhood award from Steve Harvey for best ribs. You can get a Lincoln tip, $7, pretty good.
Yeah,
Don't venture further east than that. You're gonna be in some areas you don't want to be in.
Yeah, nah, that's nice. Definitely need to. We should just have our weekly food options. Where to go when you're here? But yeah, there's always some good wrestling there.
I think. Oh, yeah, always. They do a really good job, man. But if you're on like the lower end, if you're watching this and your team has a chance to be in the bottom four, do your best to not be in the bottom four. They wrestle the bottom four in the wrestling room. Not a lot of room, not a lot of ventilation.
It's kind of shamed into the wrestling room. I like that because you kind of have, if you're in the top 8, you're in the on the main floor. If you're if you're 9 to 12, you're up in the upper deck behind the bleachers. Not horrible. Definitely could be better. If you're bottom four, you're shunned to the wrestling room. That's where you.
Oh, man. Sometimes, every now and again, not always, and especially in the first couple of rounds, like you'll get like Floyd Central in there. You want to see maybe like a good match, maybe like you want to see possible Gavin Allstott and Carson Alder, and you got to go in there, and it's just like everyone's fans are in there. I mean, you got like 30 kids for each team. It's just not meant for that, man.
That's region style, though. That's the region for you. That's what you get when you get in the region.
That's good. Yeah. Oh, yeah. If it sounds like Harrison has some kids that box. You go there, you're gonna come out tough, man. It's a tough day, and it's like back to back to back. It's a long day, but always good wrestling there. Always some good individuals. I think it's down a little bit this year. I know they lost Crown Point to Illinois. It sounds like, but Jeff Dunsky will be there, right? How do you say that, Dansky? From Gurion. He's 145. Yeah. He's pretty good, so I'm sure he'll find some good matches there, which would be good for him.
I'm sure they'll. Garen will probably bump him around if they can to get better matchups. I mean, you're gonna drive that far, you're gonna get your better kids matches, especially if your team's kind of outmanned in certain areas. So yeah, that's always fun to see, especially there. I mean, you'll see some guys bumping around for some of the teams that aren't gonna make the top, the main floor. They're gonna bump their guys around because they want to see. They go there to get their kids good competition. So they're not gonna duck anyone. So that's always fun to see. And then just getting all the results in is always, you see them trickling in throughout the day. People on their cell phones, since we still don't run that on track wrestling. So,
Nope.
so
Definitely a little bit behind for a new tech high school. You would assume they'd have some truck wrestling, not have hardwire internet, but
yeah.
RWA Swayback. That thing was that was there before RWA.
Nice. I'm sure you have some great memories of that
Carl,
wrestling room.
yeah. We never had a wrestle in there. When we competed, we were on the floor, but
No, I mean
um,
as in practices and Watkins always giving you great words of encouragement.
he's got away with words. Um, yeah, no, I think it's always a real cool story. Like I'm sure, and Watkins is such a good dude, man. If you get a chance, and he's not all stressed out for running this thing, you get a chance to talk to him. He could tell you how they got that gym built. It's a pretty nice gym. It's like one of the nicer. It was when it was built in the '60s. It was one of the nicer gyms in the area. Like Chris Trikoff, he like had to go door to door. He was an NCAA champ at Indiana. He started the wrestling program at IndianaMat. So Chris Trikoff,
Yeah.
not Carl Trikoff, who was a basketball coach there, but Chris Trikoff was like the AD that started the wrestling program at IndianaMat. So got that gym built. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, there's usually he usually includes. I'm usually on that email. If not, hopefully I can get back on it. With the results or the brackets, and then he usually has that little write up on Trikoff, Matt, and that's always good to see. I love the history. Of guy. You wonder what it's why it's named that and that. I don't even think he wrestled like in high school, but he.
No, I don't think so. He was from Hammond. Well, there was a coach that coached at Calumet forever, a basketball coach. His name was Carl Trikoff, and everyone's like, "Why would you name this tournament after a basketball guy?" It's like, it was like one of the first ADs at Calumet.
Yeah.
He brought this guy Roland Beckham, whose daughter's the AD now at Maryville, Amy Beckham. So,
wow,
definitely a lot of wrestling family. Yeah, so the roots run deep out there.
So are you? Did have a question. Are you going to be on the mic for the Carnahan invite?
I think they're trying to work it out so they can do it live. Crown Point's one of the schools that doesn't let you broadcast live, and I think they do. They're going to do they make you pay like a rights fee or something. So they're trying to work it out where we can do there and be there and broadcast it. Because obviously, what I always tell Region Sports is wrestling's more of a statewide thing. Like for football or basketball, they get like the local stuff. Like people like, oh, I love Andrea and Maryville basketball, and you get 500 views, where wrestling's pulling 10,000 views because it's such a tight-knit community. And I'm sure if Crown Point, Brownsburg, I know Wheeler's there, sounds like Benton Central might be there, they're going to have a huge audience of people that are going to want to watch that match. And I think that, hopefully they can get it live, and I think Region wants to cover it, which would be good.
Yeah, that's
But even if it's on tape, usually like everyone's going to be wrestling that day anyways, and then you can watch it afterwards.
Yeah, no, we have the Carroll Super Duels, so I'll get home after we clean up all our mats, and I'll be like, hey, let's watch some wrestling, and then get in trouble with actually the wife won't be there, so I will be able to watch it without any trouble. So
Guys night.
yeah, I'll be, I don't know what I'll do. It'll be a nice quiet house, no kids, no wife. They'll be over in the region. So maybe they'll swing over to the Carnahan and watch wrestling.
They should.
I'm
Crown
sure.
Point does a nice job on their square. It's kind of like Decatur, but nicer.
No, not nicer
Not
than
Decatur.
Decatur. Come on, DeKalb.
Nah, but their downtown's similar to DeKalb when we went there. But they just did all these new restaurants. So
yeah, nice.
So if your wife's looking for some good food, man,
she knows where she knows that area pretty well. She'll get. Well, we got Portillo's in Fort Wayne now, so we don't have to get Portillo's. We don't have to get Potbellies in Chicago. So it's slow. Chicago's slowly making their way east to good restaurants. So she's gonna stay.
I'm sure there's like some down home stuff that when she comes home she has to get. There's probably
there's Heine's.
Like when I'm
Heine's chicken.
What is it?
Heine's chicken.
I don't know what that is, man.
You don't know what Heine's is? They have like a hot sauce that one time when we were moving one time, one of my friends picked up this it's like a gallon jug of of hot sauce. He's like, "Why do you have paint in your pantries?" My wife's like, "No, that's hot sauce." Like, what? You never had Heine's? Man, that's I don't know. I don't even know where it is. I can't tell. I don't know my way around that area. All I know is it's in the greater Chicagoland area. But it's a.
That's like I feel like whenever I go like now I say north because I'm a little like I'm always like I want to get a ham hoagie from Romano's, and it's like a heart attack and a sandwich, but try to eat that like once a month, keep me grounded.
Yeah, it's a hole in the wall place. Looks like it's. It looks like it's gonna fall down type place, and it smells of fried chicken. That's fried chicken. That the grease is holding the walls together type place. Oh man, I'm gonna have to. I'll have to send it to you.
Trash this guy's business. His
But it's good. It's that type of place that you know it. You know when you walk in, that's gonna be good food. They have an old like Pepsi board with all their their menu stuff. Has the Pepsi logo from 1964. You know, Tiny's Chicken. So if you're in Chicago,
Tiny, like
Heine,
small.
no Heine, like
Uh,
Heinies. I'll have to ask my wife because she will know. It's like fish. It's fried chicken, and it's just hot sauce. It's kind of like a red hot type sauce. It's not crazy hot, but it's a good hot sauce that they pour on the
nice
chicken.
to see it.
So yeah,
Oh, the Torrance.
yeah. Oh yeah,
Okay.
Man, you didn't know about Heine's? I learned you something today about the region. Man.
Oh man, it's a shrimp house too. Okay. That's not the region, man. That's like Chicago. You're talking like some Southside Chicago stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I guess we have the most probably one of the most unscripted guerrilla radios ever. So, any other words of advice before we head out on an hour and a half episode?
No, I don't got nothing, man. I
Okay.
don't got anything.
So make sure you guys watch some wrestling tonight or this weekend, I guess, and report your results because those are always fun to see. And we will be back next Sunday night, more wrestling to talk about, and we will see everyone next week.